Aloha, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Let's Play Dark Souls with Delicate Blood. And that is the ladder we're going to be climbing. Here is the wing spear, so to show this off real quick, you have nice long attacks with it, and if you hide behind your shield, using your R1s, you can attack from a pretty great distance, as you can see. And then the fun thing with it is the R2, although the R2 you do kind of have to commit to, because as you can see, you reach pretty far with that. And then, yes, if you double hand a weapon, which I've never mentioned, you drain your stamina a lot faster because you also have increased strength when using it two-handed. And then pardon me, one last thing for it is the guard break is just your basic kick. So kick, and then nice little follow-up stab. Here is the scimitar, and it has some nice little quick slashes. The R2 is probably why more people will play with it, is because that's just kind of gorgeous to see your character do, and yes, both those swings will hit. The guard break is actually a one-handed cartwheel backwards, so can be a lot of fun to play if you guard break a lot. And the two-hand, kind of the same thing, nice and swift attacks. The R2s, nice together little motion there. And the other reason that a lot of people like weapons is the running attacks, is that sometimes when you do a running attack, the scimitar has a nice little uppercut, and the spear has a nice little quick long-range stab. So we're going to be playing with these weapons through the next area. Not that they're effective in the next area, I just want to be showcasing as much as I can until I actually get really the weapons that I want to play with. So we're going to climb back up the ladder, and here... Okay, so there's the Drake. Now, if you come up here and you try to go, he's going to breathe fire at you. So if you come back down, he'll kill off everything up on the bridge for you. So this is probably what I would call the safest grinding spot in the game. Is if you get up here, you can just go down, hit the bonfire, enemies will respawn. And when you walk up here and walk to a certain point, he'll breathe fire at you. So where are you supposed to go since he's guarding the bridge? Well, you come down here. Now, spears don't have increased critical, however, they are a thrusting weapon, which means that they are best used when stabbing somebody from behind or stabbing somebody in their face. Wow, and I was not expecting that. Here we get to show off force. Uh-oh. Okay, we won't be getting able to show off force. Switch those up. Now normally what I would do is I would honestly just keep kicking him off the ledge, but since he stabbed me, he gets a very long painful death. So there you can see the dragon head, kind of intimidating. Come in here and we get to fight rats, and as you can see, these rats are quite aggressive. And if you're smart, if you can time it out, you can just do that. The better thing to do is just to block them. And this is where spears and rapiers will be very helpful to you. And there you can see rats are poisonous. So what happens is he's hitting me, and if that poison meter fills up, I will become poisoned. So this is where your spear can be a great defensive weapon against targets that are very aggressive, which these rats are. And these rats are also known for stunning you, so even though our character has some poise on him, if these rats hit us, it will generally stun us. So what I would recommend, spear weapon, rapiers are actually one of the best weapons for fighting them. So now we climb up the ladder that they were guarding. And we'll come out. The undead perish. Now we can't see it, but the Drake's up there, and what you find out that he's guarding that bonfire. And there's gotta be a way to get this door to open. And we can't see anything, the gate's in the way. So I want to go take care of that. And I find that this is something that a lot of players don't know, or at least when I've multiplayered, not many people have known. Oh, and here's the jumping tack for the spear. Just epic Sparta stab. Oh, there's a staircase. Well, we'll go deal with that staircase later. First, I want to take care of how to get to that bonfire. And this is what I'm dreading, because this is actually a lot easier to do if you have the bow and arrow. And also if you have the bow and arrow and enough arrows, because I freaking killed my vendor that sells them, like a moron, you can actually get a very good weapon here in the game, which will carry you through most of the game. If you shoot this Drake's tail enough times, you can actually get a weapon if you cut off his tail. Now, because I don't have enough arrows and the crossbow is not designed for target shooting, we're at a loss here. We won't be able to do that. However, yeah, so the crossbow, there's no way to aim it. It's just a, either a free fire type thing, which is terribly inaccurate. Like here, what you can do is if you press forward, line up your camera so that the tail lines up with your chest. And as you can see, I completely missed. And I'm not wasting too many crossbow bolts on that, because I might need many. But if you shoot him in the tail, he'll jump down. And what you can do is you can sprint all the way back up here, up to here, and you can run between his feet, which I find to be kind of a dangerous thing to do if you're using the bow and arrow. Especially when you can just shoot him from up here. So this might take a few tries. Got him in the wing. Awesome. So what we're going to do is just sprint, sprint, sprint. And that's actually bad because he turned with me for some reason. But you can come over here, run inside, pull the lever. Now you want to be careful because as you can see, he's not an idiot. He's going to toast that room and try to kill you. So what we're going to do is we're just going to back away, wait for him to go back up. And how do we know he's back up? One, by that sound, but you can also see his shadow. There it is. There's his shadow. And what happens if you walk in this room, he actually gets scared and flies away. Yes, he flies away from you walking into that room while he's up on the perch. However, if you rest at any other bonfire besides this one, he will come back from that direction and he'll burn your butt. But this is how you get the items, or this is how you would kill everybody on the bridge. So, that's a little nice thing for you to know. We picked up a weapon called the Claymore. Claymore I will showcase at some point. I'm not a big fan of it, though. I can two-hand it. I'll show it off once I have the strength for it. Not my favorite weapons. I see a lot of people playing with it. It's got a very high physical damage, which is decent. So I do see a lot of people playing with it. And the damage reduction on it is actually 60. I'm impressed about that. So you can block with it two-handed and actually slightly depend on it for damage reduction. I would not depend on it for damage reduction. But here we can see Hollows praising us the moment we walk out here. That one's crying. So if you want some free souls, come out here and kill these guys. Jumping attack. And last but not least, uppercut. Now, slashing weapons are best used if you need quick strikes, and they're kind of like a quick in and out weapon. You'll attack and then you'll want to get out of there fast. Although you can still burn through your stamina pretty quickly if you haven't put any points into endurance. And then another thing is there is an altar here. Now, at the moment, as you can see, we can't do anything with it. There is something you can do online which will make this go faster, but there's something you can do with this altar, which hopefully I will showcase later. I honestly don't know if I will, though. I'll see if I can make it happen. But anyways, here's another bonfire. So we're going to light it, and I would recommend resting at every bonfire you can, especially on your first playthroughs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop these souls real fast, and then we will level up and continue on with the level. But rather than bore you guys with 14 times of this, thanks to Movie Magic, we now have all of those souls popped. So, nice and convenient. And time to level up. Now that altar there is actually based upon your faith, so if I really wanted to show it off, I could put some more points into faith, and I might be able to encourage it to occur faster. Otherwise, I think I need 18 faith to do what I want to do. Honestly, that's not what I want to do with this character, so I am going to forgo that for now. Maybe I'll show it off later. Maybe I'll show it off in a bonus video, and I'll make a character to just run around showing off a bunch of things. Not really sure about that. Dexterity, again, I said I wanted it up to 20, so we are almost there. Yeah, I'll commit to that. That's fine. So once that gets up to 20, we will be fine, and because we rested at a bonfire, all of our enemies have respawned, so it is something that you do need to be careful about. And, let's see. Perfect. I'm going to play with the spear for a little bit. As much as I like the scimitar, I don't find it the most dependable weapon. And it doesn't cause bleeding, which is really disappointing, because curved swords in a different game could cause bleeding, which made them very amazing. Here, because again I have the power of foresight, what I would recommend is for you to walk very sneakily up these stairs. Because sometimes you don't know what's going to be waiting you at the top of said stairs. So if you're ever not sure and you want to explore, here we can see we have a Black Knight again, except that his sword looks very large. Now, normally guys would actually tell you to ignore this guy, and I actually might die on him. But if you sneak up very quietly behind him... Oh, he heard me. Now, I also would not be trying this... Oh, lovely. I'm playing with two weapons which are terrible for backstabs. I'm actually going to come down here. And where is my rapier? Now, I believe he'll chase you down here. There he is, right on cue. And as you can see, he's actually holding up his shield as well. So what you can do is you can kind of bait him and he'll attack. But you want to be careful because stairwells, not the best for you to be fighting on. But because I have a spear, I am going to abuse the range on it. And notice that I'm keeping my shield up at all times. This guy I actually find to be probably one of the most terrifying... One of the most terrifying things to fight so early in the game. Because his sword could potentially one-shot me. I really just missed that. But again, what I would encourage you to do if you want to fight him is to lure him down the stairwell. Make sure that you have a shield that blocks 100% physical, because as you can see, that takes away about half my physical, or half my endurance, just blocking a single blow from him. Now, you can't, oh geez, you can parry him if you feel comfortable with it. I personally do not. Usually big weapons are actually quite predictable, and the way he uses his sword, I have yet to master parrying such attacks with him. And what's more terrifying is he actually does not reset if we rest at a bonfire. Right, see, I can't even access this bonfire at the moment. That is not good. I actually did not know he had that attack. And why am I not backstabbing him? But there's his death. 800 souls and a Titanite chunk. So it is possible to get his sword. I did not get it. I'm not too hurt by that because that sword is huge and probably costs a lot of strength. But that's why I like having weapons that can do critical backstabs, such as a dagger or a rapier. Otherwise, you would want to use a reinforced club because very few armor sets actually have resistance to strike damage. And if you're wondering what I mean by strike, so there's strike damage, which is blunt. There's thrust damage. Where's that sword? Uchikatana is slash and thrust. Scimitar is slash damage. Honestly, almost every armor set in the game is actually resistant to slash. So slash weapons, even though they're faster and you can get off more attacks, more enemies are going to be resistant to them. So be careful if you like the slashing weapons. And then last but not least, Claymore has regular damage, which is basically it's not strong against anything, but it's not weak against anything. So yeah. What do we have? Rapier. I want to show off the scimitar. I'll play with the scimitar for a little bit because I probably will never play with it again after this area. And there we can see a giant boar. Now there is a trick that you can do, but I'd rather show off how this trap works. So if you come out here, you can see that guy in the distance is approaching you. But there's also a guy over here approaching you. Now, you'll see me abusing the jump attacks a lot, and that's because NPCs in this game, even if they have their shield up... No! And that was actually kind of stupid. Now, the thing is, I don't think he's going to drink again because I already stopped him from drinking. So let's see if I can get this guy a little weak. Oops, that might kill him. Yep, that's going to kill him. I have too much dex, so that backs out. Actually did enough. But now you can see the gate is closed. If you don't do something specific here, one of the guards will actually run back there and close the gate, not letting you in. And obviously, giant boar demon. Oh wow, he hit me. That's not good. Was not expecting him to hit me. Now, Boar Demon, you can actually stab him in the butt, but I do not want to. Oops. I actually want to hit him in the face, and as you can see, this is not the best weapon for it. And he can actually attack you from his hindquarters. But as you can see, the game actually did a magnificent job of not letting enemies be too stupid. You know, even though he could hit me. There we go. Now this is not the best way to fight the boar demon, so I'm actually going to come back to fighting him in a moment. Because what you can do is come up here and take care of these archers. Which is probably the smartest thing you can do, because otherwise they're just going to be bombing shots. And that's not the best thing. And here you get some alluring skulls. Now, these alluring skulls will track anything more or less that's hollow. And that demon boar down there is considered hollow. So what you can do is throw an alluring skull into those flames, and as you can see, the environment can hurt even your enemies. Love that, stabbing enemies through with a spear. But as you notice, I kept aiming at his face, and he's a giant armored boar. So why would I do that? Well, you can technically cut off his face if you do enough damage to his face, and then slay him. You can actually get an item for doing so. So we're going to see if I did enough damage to his face. Now, my favorite way of fighting him is this. If you come up on this bridge, I don't know if he's close enough, but we do have these alluring skulls. So you throw an alluring skull down, and he'll come walking up trying to figure out what it was. Which allows you to do a plunging attack, which I terribly missed. Now what you can do is... Oh gosh. Yeah, so I messed that up pretty badly. Which is fun, because this will give me a chance to get a few more hits off on his face. I was about to say, is he locked? That would suck. The other thing you can do is come over here, which is how I actually first killed him. If you throw that on the ground... Alright, well now he's just being an idiot. Oh, it didn't work. But you can actually jump on his back from there and do a plunging attack. And he did not drop an item, so I did not get what I wanted. But yep, there's the alluring skull for you. And let's get a heal on. I didn't realize how much more difficult this game was to play while talking. So I'm probably doing a terrible job. So if you don't get to that gate in time, what you do is you come down here and... Oh, he's running away! Let's get him! Oh gosh, he turned around. Why would he turn around? He's got a buddy over there and a buddy over here. But what we're going to do is use this hallway to our advantage. Get them all nice, neat into a thin little line. And again, we can attack from behind our shield. Very convenient. Oh. Surprised this guy came down. That's quite odd, actually. Mwahahaha. Now, normally that guy's standing over there at that ladder guarding it. And what we'll do is we'll break these out of the way. Give us some room to fight this gentleman. And there I hit the post. So you do have to be careful of the environment, because sometimes when you're attacking, you can hit the wall, and your attacks will not go through. Now, I got lucky there. The attack went through, and here we get a mystery key. And I could read the description of the keys, but since I know where they all are, I'm not going to bother. I'm sorry. If you really want a video of that, I will make a video of me just reading through item descriptions. And maybe like showcasing items, talking about items, where they go, blah, blah, blah. But it really depends on what you're interested in. Walk across these planks, which is not too easy to do. Eventually you'll get comfortable with the controls, and that will become a cakewalk. But all you'd be getting is a large soul of the undead. Keep moving on, and we come up to another fog gate. Now, this fog gate looks really bright, but it's actually not the one to the end ones. It's the one to right above where we fought the giant boar from before. And again, we come across an enemy that I would encourage you guys to sneak up on if you can manage it. Now, again, two best weapons in the game are actually blunt weapons and these thrusting weapons. And we'll actually have a little bit of fun with this. Switch over to the Claymore. Insufficient strength to wield the weapon with one hand. Hold with both hands to use effectively. So we'll switch over to two-handed, and we now have huge Highlander greatsword. And if you press forward R2... Now, even though we can't use... Oh, there we go. He's using Estus Flask. So what I'll do is I'll pelt him with a Lloyd's Talisman. And now you can see that aura on him. He can no longer use Estus Flasks. Now, these are what are called Balder Knights, because their armor set is called the Balder Knight set. Now, this one is actually using a rapier, so you do want to be careful. And rapiers and thrusting weapons have a giant weakness. It's to parry them. As you can see, I only did 5 damage with that counterattack because I don't have enough strength to wield this weapon. So what I'll do is I'll parry him, switch over to two hands. So just because you can't properly wield a weapon one-handed doesn't necessarily make it a bad weapon. Just means you're going to have to play around with your style. You might have to stay out of his attack range and then counterattack. Or, as you saw, just block his attacks and then counterattack when the time is right. Or Alluring Skulls could be a great little necessity to that playstyle if you want to play with big, heavy weapons. So as you can see, nice sweeping attacks, and this sword did a lot of damage. But we're going to switch back down. And I don't have enough strength for that, and I do want to show that off one-handed. So what we'll do is we'll go back to the Wing Spear. And time to show off the Scimitar a little bit, or Scimitar, however you wish to pronounce it. Here is where you would get your first shield in the game that has 100 physical defense. And as you can see, certain numbers will go up, like the stability goes up, the damage. So if I was using this as a right-handed weapon, that actually goes up. But since it's in my left hand, damage doesn't mean a thing to me. The stability, even though it's one more, is better, but it's only one. Not, 1%. Again, from my understanding of the game, I call it 1%. Not really worth it. And then all these defenses would get, or two of the defenses would go down. Weight would go up and durability would go up. So this heater shield is actually a really good shield to have. So we're going to keep on this heater shield for the moment. Oh, geez. I was about to charge into that. So here we'll charge in for our uppercut. He'll just counterattack, and then we will counterattack him. We will counterattack his counterattack. Love it. But unfortunately, he's actually guarding nothing. I don't know if it's just one of those things, like if you don't pay attention to him, walk down this hallway, you could be trapped. Now here's something you do have to be careful of, because if we come out here, we have a Balder Knight. Now what I'm not showing you is behind us is a knight with a spear. So if you take too long on that guy, on this guy over here, or if you're facing the wrong way, you'll be trapped. Now, what I find to be the most effective thing to do is get hit while doing that. But if you throw an alluring skull, we'll both pay attention to that, and you can easily get behind one or both of them. Or if you throw it for the Balder Knight, you can go take care of this guy. Oh, sweet, I just got one of the best shields of the game. But we'll proc his counterattack, and nice and easy. And that shield I just got, I'm actually going to be using for a very long time. This is the Balder Knight shield. And now, we were just talking about how I didn't like the fact that we were trading in these defenses for more stability. However, the stability on this shield is 55, the stability on this shield is 63. In terms of the light shields, shields that can parry, specifically, this thing actually has the highest stability in the game. And look at that shield. That thing is just huge, and I love the way it sits on your arm. Like right there, it just looks like it would defend you even though you're not guarding. I love this shield. And then it's just a huge shield. It makes sense that you would be blocking with this, and you can still parry with it. So it's a very, very good shield. Although it does weigh 4 pounds, so now I am overweight. So I'm going to ditch the spear for now, and we'll put on the rapier. Just so I have 2 light weapons, and I have this nice big shield. Now there's 2 ways you can go here. I'm actually going to go to the left first, and again, because it's the gift of foresight, so I know what's coming up. But if you're in need of a bonfire, let's say you've taken a lot of damage, you're actually going to want to go straight, and I'll show you why later. So first we'll come down here, and we're on the other side of that gate. And this guy's not really paying attention, but if you sneak up on him... Okay, thanks for the idea. Kill him, and we get a basement key. So, the basement key is a key that we actually can use at the moment, but I will be showing that off in another video. So we'll just keep it for now. Now, there are Balder Knights in here, and as you can see, this one, the moment he sees you, he's just going to come charging out at you. And he is your most aggressive Balder Knight. And I'm sorry if the backstabs are getting kind of boring, but it's the most effective thing you can do in this game. And as you can see, the scimitar doesn't do a whole lot of damage, so I'm going to actually switch off of it. And here we get the halberd. I think that'll put me overweight if I try to use that. The weight is 6 pounds. Yeah, I'll use that. I'll use that in a specific room, and then I probably won't ever use it again. Now, it's kind of interesting. There's a Balder Knight there, but what you don't know is that if you look carefully, because it's Dark Souls, there's a Balder Knight in that corner. This one will actually not aggro you. You actually have to do something to aggro him. So, since I said I was going to showcase these things... Now, one of the problems with arrows in this game and throwing daggers is that while they're guarding, very ineffective weapon. But, here I'll show off the scimitar, how it's supposed to be used. Uppercut, R2. And you just had a nice huge volley on him. Wait for your stamina to recharge, and let it build back up. Very nice. Now here we're going to go fight the Rapier Balder Knight, and you can actually get their armor set from killing them, as well as their weapons and shields. I was not prepared for that. But thrust weapons, I find that to be the easiest way to fight the Balder Knights. The other thing you can do is just hold up your shield, and their rapier will bounce off your shield, and you can counterattack. But I don't always find that to be the safest bet. It depends on how fast your weapon swing is, and that's not always the safest. So here we're actually going to run around, and there is a specific reason about why I want to do this. But I'll show off this path, and here we have some more guards. I should not have taken that damage. That was not wise on my part. But as you can see, that heal takes very long to accomplish, so you're generally not going to want to do that in the midst of combat. Oh, that was way too early. There's my guard break, and thankfully never thought to a counterattack, so I will just take pure sweet advantage of that. And here we get a hollow soldier waistcloth, and put that on. You can't see it because of that. Covers a little bit more, wraps around the legs. You gotta get sandals on both legs. It's not really amazing. I'm not a big fan of the hollow soldier set and such. It does way less than what we're using, and one more point to lightning resistance. Nothing to write home about. But come in here, get our slashes on, and cause them to die. Now if you need a bonfire, you're going to want to go that way, and that is the closest bonfire you can access. But I want to come in here. These are not the weapons I want to be using to fight him. How much weight do I have? About 4 pounds. Perfect. I actually want to use... yeah, balls. I could take off that, and that gives me 0.5 pounds. But that'll add a pound, so that's going to be too much. I was going to use the halberd on him, because the halberd might be a decent weapon. But this guy is another one of those guards that is not going to respawn if you access a bonfire. He's just going to keep charging you non-stop. As you can see, he's a bit more intimidating than anything we fought. He's got a huge mace, a very large shield to block anything that we can do. So how will you fight him? I'm a big fan of circle strafing their shield side, because as you can see, now he has to swing over his shield to attack us. So you're going to want to get in 1 or 2 attacks on him. Watch out for that guard break that he keeps doing. And just kind of wash, rinse, and repeat. Make sure you have a shield with 100 physical defense. That way when he swings at you, you can absorb it. So there's the backswing. Not a whole lot, guys. Didn't do a whole lot of damage to us. Or shoot. I'm lucky that he missed that. Very lucky. So we're going to switch over to two-hand, get some more. And there you can see that it's... No, 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 no. Don't. It's a trap. But a nice epic death, and we will actually never see him again. He is unfortunately not a respawning character. Very disappointing. But now, why did I go all the way around? It's because of him up there. They are called Chancellors, or Channelers, or maybe Chancellors, I don't know. But he will cast spells at you, so if you're not sure where we're at, this is where we fought the 3 Balder Knights. And so when you go to fight him, that magician up there is going to be casting spells at you as you walk into the room, and you'll take a cheap shot. So what is that big guy guarding? A Firekeeper Soul, and I will explain what that does in probably the next video. Alright, so we want to go kill him, because he's annoying. We're out of heal spells, so we're not going to deal with that anymore. And here we have a Rapine Knight on a stairwell. And here's a cute little glitch that I found out about, is that your weapons don't strike downhill. So as long as you keep your shield up, and there is his parry stance. Now what you have to do for parry stances, you're going to want to use your jumping R2 attack. The game is auto-programmed that they will auto-parry your R1 attacks, but not your jumping R2s. And in the case of the clubs, some of the clubs already have that built in, which is a very nice little feature. Now here, again, I know what's coming up. Now, normally what you would want to do is hang out in this doorway, and all these guys will come charging after you there. No, don't get off that dance. No! There we go. But this room is full of these guys, and wow, they're actually doing a lot of... Oh crap, he got off... Shoot. Shoot, shoot, shoot. he got off the dance. That blue aura you see around them means that these guys are empowered, and they're going to do about 20% more damage. So what you're going to want to do is kite them into a doorway. It's probably your safest thing. And again, if you have the spear weapon, this will be the time that it's your best friend, or even rapiers. But what I find easiest is I just either block or cause them to attack, and then counterattack with jump attacks. And since the clubs have that built in, makes it a lot easier. And I tried to run in and stop that dance from happening, and I was not fast enough. There's the Chancellor, so we're going to go take him on. Now, he's actually casting a magic spell, and if you remember, this shield is actually terrible against magic spells. Now, it is possible to get his weapon, although his armor set is not possible at this point in the game. Oh, shoot. So, as you can see, even with our full blocking shield, that still does a little bit of damage to us. Not as much as if we didn't block it. But nice thing is, Chancellor's pretty aggressive himself. He died, and unfortunately, we did not get his spear. Womp womp. And speaking of spears, do I have... No, that'll put me over weight. Let's see what else I can showcase off. Don't need that. That won't save me enough weight. The shield will, though. Oh, we don't even have enough stats for the halberd. Alright, we don't have enough strength for it. I'm saving that for later. We'll do scimitar, and I'm really sorry that I keep going back to this reinforced club, but at the moment it does the most damage, and it has a bleed effect on it, which can add some damage to it. So let's do that. It'll put me overweight. I think anything that I add. Nope, that'll be good. Alright, so let's do some exploration. So this is where we came in from. First we're going to go diagonally across, and we get a large soul of a nameless soldier, and I believe that's worth 1,000 souls. So it's a nice little pickup to get. Next thing is we came in through that doorway, so if you turn left and come up this doorway, there is a secret passage up here with a rapier Baldur Knight, who I failed to parry. If you fail to parry, sometimes the best thing you can do is back away. Jeez. And I actually don't want to mess with him when I'm this low on health, so I'm going to use that wall to shield my movement. And that's... Oh, jeez. Why are you being so aggressive? Thank you. That's the advantage to parrying, is that aggressive enemies, you can just knock them down very quickly. However, it's also the drawback to parrying, is that if you don't time it out properly, you can take a lot of damage real fast. So, what is he guarding that's so important back here? There's a door, but we can't access it. Lovely. And here is a dead body in a jar. Or in a barrel, pardon me. A jar. Listen to me. But we get another humanity. So now we can kindle another bonfire, or just increase our humanity, or instant heal ourselves, which actually might not be a bad idea for what is happening. Firekeeper Soul. Each Firekeeper is a corporeal manifestation of her bonfire, and draw for the humanity which is offered to her. Her soul is gnawed by infinite humanity, and can boost the power of the precious Estus Flask. So, if you're ever wondering, if you can ever upgrade your Estus Flasks, you can, using a Firekeeper Soul. Now here's a cute little thing that the game does. You can tell that there was light in there, but if you're not sure if you can break something, sometimes you want to just make sure that you can attack things. Now if you remember the first key we got in the area, it is for this person's jail cell.
Oh, still human, are you? Then I am in luck. Could you help me? As you can see, I am stuck without recourse. Please, I have duties to fulfill, and I will reward you handsomely. Well, I am certain you stand to benefit.
And I actually don't know if he says a third thing or not.
Please.
No, he does not.
I...
So you can choose whether or not you want to free him. I'm feeling nice. I'd love to free you. Especially in your nice shiny golden armor.
Thank you. Yes, sincerely. I am Knight Lautrec of Carim. I truly appreciate this. And I guarantee a reward. Only later.
What? You said you would handsomely reward me.
Yes, very sorry. Your reward will have to wait. I've just been freed. Allow me some time.
You know what? That's kind of actually a fair statement. You know, he just did get freed. And ladies and gentlemen, that is actually it for this episode. Next episode, we're going to be taking on the boss of this area. So tune in next time where I will be doing that. I hope you enjoyed. And next time, yes, I will also be showing off the golden pine resin. So, again, thank you so much for watching, and as always, ta-ta.